Good evening, and welcome back to Trip's Tales. Tonight, Island Walker, Episode 19, The Getaway. Erik coughed up seawater, burning his throat. His arms and legs ached. His eyes were practically on fire. He prized himself on being a good swimmer, often swimming laps in the local pool, but even he was impressed with how far he just traversed. If there was even the slightest chance that Lagertha could see undiscovered country while Alf made his way south, his entire plan would not work. He was on his own, and never had he ever felt that more. After a good while, Erik managed to push up his torso, half expecting Lagertha to be waiting for him on shore. No, I know exactly what she'll be. After enough time, he picked the rest of himself up, limped over to the Island Walker. He was soaking wet yet parched. He laughed to himself. This is the first time going to a bar and asking for water. After throwing the doors open to the bar, he surveyed Booze Central. It was quiet. He didn't see Lagertha. He knew she'd come, especially with the eyes of the Lagertha millets on him. Just a matter of time. He made his way up to Liam the bartender and asked for a water. He sipped his drink and caught his breath. I hope Alf was offloading the artifacts carefully. He trusted the man, but he was an archaeologist. After a few minutes, Erik turned back to Liam. May his great tentacles wrap around and bring us home. You'll remember. A voice spoke from behind him. Lagertha appeared and took the next stool over. Is that Lagertha? I toast to life, not death. Is it done then? Erik took out the vial and handed it to Lagertha. She opened the vial and gave it a whiff. Glorious. Any trouble? The Kraken. The boat was destroyed. I was the only survivor. Harold? Nora? Erik took another gulp of water. Regrettable. They were good. Very good. And Alf? Another sip. You'll never have to worry about him again. Excellent. How was it being on the Lagertha? How was it to be an island walker? I can't quite put it to words. As a scientist, it was... wow. Well then, I'm sorry you left empty-handed. Erik smirked and held out a Scandinavian coin. Not quite. What do you intend for this artifact? Study it, of course. There's a lot to be learned. He held out for Lagertha, and she flipped it through her fingers. I suppose you'll be going back to the States? That's the plan. In that case, if you give me the coordinates of the Lagertha, I'll let you keep your finding and go back in that matter, as the Lagertha minutes. You can research all you want and even return here, but you must do so alone. Understood. Erik took out a soggy piece of paper and used it to rewrite the coordinates for Lagertha. Be careful, he's dangerous. She grabbed the paper. I'm counting on it. She rose to her feet. I'm looking forward to reading your publications. I'm looking forward to writing them. I have artifacts back on the beach. I didn't want to lug them all the way up here. If she's writing my publications, I have to cover up my other findings somehow. Understand. Good evening. Oh, and if I hear that any of my people came here, any people at all, for that matter, came here to the island walk because of you, you'll hear from me again. Of course. I like it to turn to leave. Wait, there's just one last thing. I'm listening. Someone else who could come out here and may very well know where to find a Lagertha. Lagertha's ears perked up. The long drive back to Oslo wasn't the same without Bart Bjorn. Nothing was the same. Erik felt empty inside and immediately cried. A pit ate his stomach, and he drove the whole way, only taking short naps in the car. He didn't need sleep. He needed to get home. He needed Ripley. He needed this nightmare to be over. God damn it, Bart. Why did you have to betray me? You were my closest friend. And all for some recognition and money? I thought this was about so much more. That's what it was to Bjorn. Bjorn, he didn't have to die. I thought he was Bjorn Ironside. That's what he... Why? Why? For hours, between his mind going blank, he contemplated what had happened and what was going to happen. At least, Alf survived. He needs to stay alive. I can't go through this alone. Erik stalled Bjorn's car outside the man's shack for a good while before killing the gas. He sighed and entered, feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders. It was dark and cold inside the wooden structure. After turning on a lamplight, Erik let his own weight flop into the ground. Again, tears came. "Erik, is that you?" whispered a voice from below him. Alarmed, Erik rose again and found a floor hatch. Inside was a cellar full of beer, wine, vodka, and aquavit. Among the booze was Alf, drunk in the dirt. "Alf? Shh. Call me Dag." "Find Bjorn's supply?" "He was a smart man." Alf cheered him and chugged another beer. "What are you doing? What does it look like? You can't be drunk in the airport. We shouldn't arouse suspicion." "I can pass for sober, just let me be." Another beer. Erik hit the can out of his hand. "Hey! Don't get out of hand. Not now. We have to get out of here. We have to be strong." "Maybe I'll be stronger drunk." "No. Dependence won't make you stronger. It will only... Erik held Alf close, staring at him in the limited light. He wasn't holding a fisherman from Norway. He was holding himself. "Don't be like me, Alf. We'll have to get through this together, but we will get through. I take something, not a substance, to help you feel better, but it'll be worth it." Alf just stared at Erik. "Look, I started drinking because of my depression. It became bad after my family stopped talking to me. They preferred me to be a sports star. Could you imagine? But I never looked back. Now I am, and let's sober up and find a way out of here. There are better ways to cope. How about I buy some ice cream on the way to the airport? They don't make it the same back in the States." Alf peered up at him, tears in his eyes. "The artifacts are back by the back door." He let Erik help him out of the cellar. The undiscovered country was so young. He fell silent. "What about the Hafka for minutes?" Lagertha about the story. "We're free to go back and study the artifacts. There's just one more thing we have to do first." "What's that?" "We have to take care of our donor." What will happen next? We'll find out right here on Trip's Tales.